here only for 15 minutes, and I hope to make it worth your while. I'm a health and life coach, and I help executives and professionals to live, to speak, and to lead with confidence because confidence really just gets you places. It helps you to be able to do a lot more. Today, we are going to be talking about what is your why. And if you know me well enough, it's one of my favorite topics. One of my favorite topics. I was just asking my son, he's over there. I was just asking my son, like, what is your why? Okay. So we kind of have to have a couple conversations about that. But this is about you today. And, I have a couple projects coming out later this year. One of them is a book that I've written, and I'll tell you more about it next week. So this is all in the build up to it. So on a Friday, I want to take it a little slower. I want to kind of kick back and not just reflect on what the week held, but also, where are you heading? Hey, Elsa, how you doing? So, you guys, wherever you are, let me just close off everything here. They've said that to me. Like, one of the reasons my audio keeps sticking is that I have too many windows open when I do go live. Oh my goodness, yeah, that's the life, isn't it? Anyway, so if you are on Facebook, welcome, and if you can hear me, please let me know. If you are in any of the groups, let me know. So we're talking about confidence today, and we're talking about, just doing things a certain way. We're talking about what is your why. And I, the last year or so, no, since this is since COVID, you guys, this is since COVID. This is since trying to make sense of what was going on in the world. So let me know if you can hear me in the club. Oh, hi, Roshan. So I'm having people on LinkedIn as well. Thank you for being here. Let me know if you can hear me, as I said. Hey, Dr. Beat, how are you? Long time no see, but nice to have you here. Okay, great. Lucian Survivor can hear me. Let's talk about what happened during COVID. And did anything change for you? My entire life shifted, and I think that's an understatement of the world, of the day, that everybody's life shifted during COVID. Okay? And that is like the basis of my book. But I want to know whether you took time to kind of think of, why am I here and what am I doing? And whether I have an opportunity to do something different with this one life that I have to live. There's this quote that I love, which is, what are you going to do with your one wild, precious life? Okay, what were you called to do? And during COVID, in the process of just looking at what was going on around us, I came up with a little saying, a little equation, and it is this: your why plus your gifts is equal to your calling. Stay with me here. We're going to do a whole teaching. So just stick with me. Just show up on a Friday, okay? Show up on a Friday. We're going to talk about this and other things. Your why, the reason, the thing that moves you every single day to get up and to do what other people will not, the thing that inspires you, if you can channel that why through the expression of your gifts and your talents, then you have a calling. A calling is something that you don't have to think twice about, that you want to do, that you would do even if you didn't get paid, that serves some big purpose. And in thinking about this topic, LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram, wherever you're watching me from, I've realized one thing. I'm a person of faith. Okay. God is, oh my good, He's the best. He's the GOAT. And one of the things that God definitely says is, be of service to other people. Love other people like you love yourself. And when I really look at people and look at those people who have something that keeps on going, that never get bored, that, yeah, they will burn out, but they keep on going after a certain thing. In many cases, those people are usually in service to their fellow man. Would you agree that perhaps your highest calling, and I'm being very subjective, judge everything here, I'm owning it all, but it seems to me that your highest calling is when you are in service to other people and not just about yourself. And I'm saying that because my kid is right there. Okay. So Roshan says COVID was a time of reevaluation for me. I must say, let me see what he says. I must say, I was more productive and profitable in everything. It's very true. And like, even I had to kind of dial back and be like, COVID's over. Well, the pandemic and the restrictions are over. I should better say that. And that means that life for some people, it has gone back to what we knew before. So you can't expect, like, for example, the same kind of attention to anything virtual. You can't expect, for example, people having as much time as they did before, just because the times have changed and we have to change with them. That's just what it is. All right. For me, that was what all of COVID was about. Right. And my book that's coming out later this year, hopefully, I'll tell you all about it. I'm just getting the cover art ready, setting everything up. And yeah, I'm very excited about it. But it really was discovering what I was called to do. And it is this, like, my big why is wanting people to win. You've probably heard me say this before. Why do I want you to win? I want people to win because I know the sting of failure. And it angers me when we have two kinds of enemies, right? And that's why I became a coach, a life coach. The enemy within, the debilitating things within us that prevent us from being our excellent selves. Like, get help. You don't have to do it alone, and you don't have to live life broken. Number one, there's a God. And number two, God sent coaches to kind of help you along to get you on your way. But you have way too much talent for it to be just expended on just being normal or just getting by. What if you could deal with those things and live a life that was so fulfilling that you blessed other people? Okay. I know this thing of failure. I myself, now, I'm in a way better place after myself getting coached, counseled, all of the things. All of the things, my people. Okay? All of the things. But it wasn't always that way. I was at some point somebody who just had potential. And only yesterday in let me see what's happening on LinkedIn. Like, if you can comment, if you can, then I will just come back in and say something. Hey, Kadeem. Hi everybody who's here on LinkedIn as well, and also in my Facebook club, the To All the Girls, where I'm going to jump in after. We're talking about women things in there. We're getting very serious, very effective. Today we're talking about relationships and marriage. So if you want to join me when we're done here, and you're a girl, you're a female, jump into the club. Okay. It's the To All the Girls Success Club on Facebook. If you're already a member, that's fine. Just come in. And if you're not, just, ask to be invited, answer the questions, and I'll let you in and we'll have a great discussion. It's a little more intimate in there, I think. Yeah, granted. Right. So I know this thing. I was that person who had a lot of potential, but because there's clinical depression, there was bulimia, all sorts of things that militated against me moving forward. And I think life really began to really look up for me. I did a couple things. The best decision I ever made, I always say, was to give Christ my life. That changed everything for me. I didn't just grow wings, okay? I didn't grow wings. I still don't have wings or a halo. But what happened was that I got hope. And hope for somebody, for anybody, not just a person who, suffered from depression like I did. Hope is like an espresso shot. Hope makes you see possibilities. And when you can see possibilities that are true and can be sustained, you are going to move forward and get unstuck and all of these great things, right? So that was one of the great decisions for me. I think God gives us help along the way in all sorts of ways. This is one of them. You coming on and listening, you coming on and reading something, pursuing some kind of self-help, personal development, maybe even going deeply into inspiration and spirituality. all of these great things can help you to be better. And that's what it's about. Hey, Leah, how are you doing? Good afternoon to you. And so I've had a couple epic failures along the way that during COVID came together for me in terms of analysis and made me realize I was all about wanting people to win. Like, why should you not win? These are the debilitating things that we have within ourselves. But there are also things. Oh my goodness, no problem. Yes, please. Yes. So you're going to answer your why on air, Dr. V. That'd be great. So think about it and come back and watch the live on IG. I'm going to save it as a reel. It's so great what IG does now. Did you guys know that? So after you go live directly on IG, it saves as a reel. So people who don't catch you when you go live, they can come back and watch. It is amazing. I love that they do that now. All right. So we have those things within us, the intrinsic weaknesses, or just you keep on coming up against yourself. And I used to say when I suffered from depression, it was like falling into myself and not being able to climb back out. I'm pretty sure anybody who has been through depression might agree. It's usually like you don't know how to climb back out. So we have those things that we need help with that, you know, getting into these kinds of spaces can help. But there are also things on the outside, in the environment, within other people, and frenemies and institutions and things like, in especially in my part of the world, systemic racism, all of these things. So can you imagine having to deal with the enemy within and the enemy without, and you're like lost and not even knowing like what is my why? I can't even get my head above water to be able to think about why am I here? But the thing is, no matter the situation, you were born for something. And when you find that lovely fusion of your why, the thing that moves you or angers you, that you want to solve in the world, that gives you a rush. Okay, it comes in different places, it comes in different ways at different stages. Some people have always known what they want to do and how they want to help the world. For some people like me, it kind of breaks on your head. And you're like, what? What am I doing here? So when you get that why and you channel the why through your gifts, the things that you do naturally, the things that you get called upon to do, things that are easy for you and are hard for other people, when those two things come together, you literally have a calling. Let me give you an example, okay? One of my brothers can make a cheesecake that will make you forget your diet. It's that good. And if he's on here, I don't know if he's on here. I'm not sure if but he can make a wicked cheesecake. Who likes cheesecake here? I love cheesecake, okay? No, his cheesecake is exquisite. The taste lingers in your mouth, okay? For the life of me, I can't get my brother to pursue cheesecakes as a business because he would command, and he has commanded, a premium price. But it's not his thing. It doesn't interest him. Is there anything that you're just good at, but you don't necessarily want to do or pursue? That's not your calling because there's no why within it. There's no why behind it. There's nothing fueling it. On the other hand, I would love to, no, I would love to have a cheesecake business. Number one, so that's not even a good example because my cheesecakes are not like super anything like his, right? So Leah says, let me just take this comment here. Leah says it's like going down the rabbit hole when you're trying to get out, other things come in your way and just block the way out. Yeah, that's true. That's depression. I think that's what you're talking about, right? Definitely depression. So we were talking about the enemy within and the enemy without. But you guys, so I was telling you, the cheesecake thing is he can do it, but he's not inspired by it. There's no why. There's nothing below the surface. And that calling that I'm talking about is when you find a thing that you want to do, that moves you, that you want to solve, the way that you want to help, it's almost like it it's when I see somebody losing, no, I get really angry because I've been through it. I'm like, why should you be losing? What? How dare life feel like it can just roll up on you and you just lose and there's nothing for that? Let's go. Okay, that's my why. That's my why. And the way that I channel that why is through speaking and writing and coaching. So by the end of doing the things that I do naturally well, you have somebody who's hopefully on their way to wholeness, right? So can your why change at different times of your life, or was it never your why if it changes? I think that's I think it changes. I think it does change depending on whatever is moving you. So I don't think, maybe I, for one, we can say that it's not static. It's not a static thing. It's not a thing that, once that's what it is. No, circumstances change. And it might be that perhaps now, for me, it's about letting people win. It could be something later on when I have deeper or more broader life circumstances. That's a great question. And I think the honest answer is that your why can change. Now, because your why changes, does that mean that it's not true? I don't think so. I think wherever you are right now, if you find a fusion of your why and your gifts, you have a calling, pursue that. And I'll pick this up again next week, Friday. You can jump in the club, the To All the Girls Success Club. That's where we're going to be. So thank you for joining me. We're going to talk about it. So I want to leave you with this question. What is your why? Is there something that moves you? Is there something that you want to solve in the world? And the final thought, and I've been really thinking about it with, especially with my clients who are, a lot of them are at this point where, yeah, I've self actualized somehow. And now it's time to figure out, why am I here? It's definitely not just the money. It's definitely not just the family and having a great career. There has to be something deeper to anchor me right now. And so we're going through that process with a couple people. So Leah, what is your why? You do have a why, right? And so the final thought is, when you are in service to your fellow man, your fellow person, man, woman, whatever, civilization, you have a deeper why. You literally do. Okay. Number one, people are always going to be needy. We all need others. There will always be something that we need. So you will never be bored. You will never be like listless or not have anything to do if you are in service to other people. Because we're human. And so we're always like needing others to help us along in certain ways. So it makes sense that if you are in service to your fellow man, fellow woman, you are in a good place. You have things to do. That's it. And a lot of people are just frankly bored. We're going to deal with that, however. So join me. I'll be back on Monday, same time. Join me then. And then we talk about, other things that I love to speak about, professionalism and that kind of thing. But on a Friday, we are going to delve into the topic, what is your why? Okay, folks, thank you for joining me. Last thing is, Speak with Confidence is around the corner. Okay, everything rolls out on Monday, but I wanted to tell you that the dates are November 2nd to the 30th. Speak with Confidence. You can go to my website, lisamdublin.com, lisamdublin.com/SWC, and you will see a bit more about the program. But it's been very successful. I loaded up so many more testimonials last night, brought tears to my eyes because we've had so much success with the program and it's rolling around again. So we'll talk more about that on Monday. But see you, have a great weekend, and think about your why. That's what it's all about. Bye, folks.